Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There was a request from another stamp club to identify what they felt were their most what were your most beautiful stamps. So here they are. I changed the title a bit. It's now Beauty is in the Eye of the Philatelist. These are some what I consider truly beautiful Canadian stamps, 3 of them. The $8 Grizzly from the Wildlife Definitive Series, the $10 Blue Whale. And this one is the $2 Diamond Jubilee. It's just a stamp, but the entire souvenir sheet, which is probably about 6 inches tall, is also engraved. And it's a pretty spectacular souvenir sheet. Here they are all on cover. The beaver on a block comes in a block of 4. This is on a parcel. Here's another, the whale, the blue whale, also on another shipment. And the $2 souvenir sheet on a letter from my mother to me in Qatar. So let's look at the grizzly bear. Unitrade describes it as lithography and engraving in 3 colors. Well, the engraving is certainly the bear, and the Canada also seems to be engraved. Lithography is both the red $8 and the green and blue, what I call grizzly bear parades. These are actually her small blue icons of outlines of bears, all head to tail in a long parade. In the green down here, there's a similar parade of green bears.
I don't see a single bear. They must be very tiny.
Yes. Oh yeah. Each little. We'll look at. I don't know if I got it. Yes. There's 3 of them between the A and the N, for example, down here. Huh. There is also a large security feature, a large number 8, hidden in the hairs of the inside hind leg of this grizzly bear, right there. Nice. We'll look at it in close up at the engraving of it here. And I didn't even see this. I've looked at the stamp until after it was issued, someone was wearing a sweatshirt with this stamp emblazoned on the front. And there I said, oh, look at that big 8. But you don't generally notice it without just by casually looking at it. But there you can see the engraving marks to produce the 8 in the hair. Here's the blue whale. Then like if Unitrade says it's lithography in 4 colors plus silk screen and engraving. Well, we know where the engraving is. It's the whale. The silk screen, I believe, is the $10. And the lithography is the remainder. And
what about a 10?
Of this. This is what the blue is. And here, what Garfield Porch, a member of the Toronto Club, told me is that and he's a printer, that the light blue makes it very, very difficult to copy. The light blue doesn't copy very well. And that could be why they had light blue bears on the bear stamp. But he was specifically talking to me about this stamp and how this and there's probably maybe the light pink is also difficult. We'll look at the 10. Here's the 10. He explained that the ink that is used is highly regulated by the printers or the ink suppliers, because it has a particular feature that depending on what angle you look at it, it changes color. And that kind of paint is, as I said, the printing industry keeps it under tight wraps. They don't, and to help prevent forgeries and obviously to restrict the market on it too.
Is there a numeral 10 hidden in the engraving in the whale?
No. And it's interestingly, none of the other wildlife. There's about 10 in the wildlife series altogether, and none of the other ones have it. But they do have the small blue images in them. So here's a $2 Diamond Jubilee souvenir sheet. Here's the actual stamp. This is a sort of a mimic of the $2 Diamond Jubilee for Queen Victoria, with both in Victoria's case, we had a young Queen Victoria and an older Queen Victoria. Now here we have a young Queen Elizabeth and an older Queen Elizabeth. Unitrade describes it as a 1-color intaglio, silkscreen and silver foil. Well, I think the intaglio certainly is intaglio and engraving is synonymous as far as I can tell. Silkscreen is the brown banner, and the silver foil here is the crown. This doesn't show up in the scan, but this is actually a silver foil. And here's what this looks like. When you do a close-up of the eye, we can see that the intaglio actually is individual pixels. So that would suggest, as I said, I'm not an expert, but it would suggest to me this is a process called photogravure, photo engraved, meaning that there's a silk screen, there's some kind of pattern, and the printing plate is chemically treated and then treated with light through a pixelated image, and where the light hits the plate, it creates some chemical reaction, and either then this portion of the plate is either removed or not removed when it's washed off. But that's assuming it's quite different than the other engraving that we've seen on the other wildlife issues.
So the close-up you were showing us just now, was that from the large image on the souvenir sheet?
Correct.
To the stamp, I see. So that is definitely not intaglio engraved. Engraving wouldn't show pixels that way.
Yeah, but photogravure and actual engraving are different.
But they're both a way of recessed surface printing.
Yes, correct.
It's how you create the recess is the challenge. Is it manually cut out, or the machine cut out of the plate, or is it chemically produced by photo activation of the surface? But okay, now I'll look at it and report back. I'll study this a little in more detail. You're raising some fabulous questions, and I'll look more at the stamp in particular and try to understand more about the photogravure process. Because there's only one purple so I would expect that whatever was used to create this purple image also created the rest of the purple. They wouldn't run it through the printing press twice. So two others from the wildlife series that I'd like to consider as truly beautiful, and they do have some interesting feature about them. One being the $5 moose. It was issued at the same time as the grizzly. And much later, and I'm stamp number 33129, the $4 bighorn sheep. I'm going to do something quickly to look at each of these in particular. And here's the $5 moose. Lithography 4-color, engraving 2-color. Well, it's pretty easy to tell here. We do have, they're not little animals. These are just hoof prints, blue hoof prints. You can almost see them there. There's about, two of them here between the two legs of the A. So it looks like a lithography 4-color. So the lithography for the top banner, and $5 Canada blue moose footprints. And there's also the yellow grass shading by the brown is the bear, and this is engraved in green, the grass. So, but what's interesting, does anybody see anything unusual about this moose? What's wrong? Well, if I go to the next picture, does that help you at all? Well, this moose, being male, has no genitalia. You see, then and here's a detail of the engraving of the antler and of the rack, and his back, and the hairs on his back. And I had to show that one, the last one, because I wanted to show the Rocky Mountain sheep. They think they realize they made a mistake, and
he's big.
This time, this is engraving in brown, green, and blue, and then lithography for the other colors. And here's a detail on the engraving, again with some more light blue shading. So the blue is all the security feature. And here's the engraver, master engraver Jorge Peral, who worked with Canadian Banknote. And this is from his website. And here's the final picture, is a picture of the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep. He's looking at something. Well, he happens to be looking at me taking a picture of him.
Oh, that's great.
My wife's taking a picture of me taking a picture of the bighorn sheep.
Where was that, Arnie?
This is on the Icefields Parkway that runs between Banff and Jasper in Alberta.